Christmas Day, I didn't feel like going to my parents, pero kasi tradition na namin 'yon. Nakasama naman dapat yung parents ko na magki-Christmas plus yung dog ko na hindi ko pa nakikita for days since nanganak ako. Pero ayun, buti na lang nakakuha ko ng lakas kahit papano na maligo at mag-ready para makapunta sa parents ko. And ayan na, habang kumakain ako, umiiyak na naman siya. And andun na naman yung anxiety ko. And anxiety attack na naman ako, nadedede na naman siya. And ang sakit-sakit na naman ang dede ko. And you've been sleep deprived for days. And ang lungkot-lungkot ko talaga. And nung umakyat kami sa room, that was December 25, nung Christmas Day mismo. Nandun kami sa room ng parents ko kasi yung room nila may aircon dun sa bahay nila. I told my husband that I'm very frustrated and overwhelmed. Na parang hindi ko talaga ma-feel yung connection. Yung parang sinasabi nila na magical feeling, na it's your first baby, and parang dapat love na love ko siya. Pero sabi ko sa husband ko, bakit parang hindi ko love si baby? And bakit sobrang naiirita ako kapag umiiyak siya? Na sa sobrang irita ko, sabi ko sa husband ko, parang gusto kong tabunan ng unan si baby na para lang matigil siyang umiyak. There were those thoughts na sobrang dark na hindi ko masabi sa husband ko. May mga times talaga na naisip ko na sabi ko, tabunan ko na lang kaya ng unan to. Pagkatapos sabihin ko na lang sa husband ko, hindi ko alam kung anong nangyari dyan. Parang bigla na lang siyang hindi humihinga. I wanted my old life back so bad na wala pa akong iniintindi. Sabi ko, bakit ba ginusto ko pang mag-anak-anak pa? Dahil lang ba gusto kong pasayahin yung asawa ko? And gusto ko lang pasayahin yung parents ko? Yun lang. Pero, why did I put myself through this? Na parang kahit sarili ko nga, parang hindi ko masyadong maalagaan before. Tapos nagdagdag pa ako ng aalagaan. So, these thoughts, I mustered the courage to tell my husband this, although hindi niya din naman daw sinabi sa sister ko. Pero ayun nga, simula nun sinamahan na ako. Palagi nang nandun yung sister ko sa bahay namin. And hindi ko naman masisisi yung husband ko kung ba't hindi niya siguro sinabi sa sister ko to. Kasi ako din, ayokong sabihin kahit kanino. Ayokong sabihin sa parents ko. Ayokong malaman na in-laws ko. Dahil ang nasa isip ko noon, Diyos ko, pag nalaman lang ng mga biyanan ko yung iniisip ko, isipin na, baliw tong pangasawa ng anak ko, kawawa naman. So, yung mga ganun. So, there's a lot of guilt and a lot of shame attached to it na parang sa isip ko, wala naman akong kilala kasi na iba na nakaraan. So, talagang ang sisi ko is nasa sarili ko na there's something wrong with me. Parang hindi naman to pinagdaanan ng mga pinsan ko na nanganak or ng mga friends ko or ng mga tita ko or ng mommy ko. Wala naman siya na kwento na ganito. Pero ako, I have thoughts of harming my child. And parang hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit hindi ko siya mahal. Yun siya. Bakit hindi ko siya kayang alagaan? Yun yung hindi ko maintindihan sa sarili ko. And yun nga, nung napanood ko yung docu nung sa When the Bow Breaks, may isang nag-share doon na gano'n yung nararamdaman niya. Hindi niya maintindihan bakit hindi niya mahal yung baby niya. Na magtatatakbo na lang siya, pupunta siya sa mall, she would see moms with their kids, mga newborn babies na sila parang kayang-kaya na lang alagaan. Bakit ako ayaw ko nito? Bakit gusto ko ako lang mag-isa? Bakit hindi ko kayang mahalin yung baby ko? May mga ibang moms na hindi lang yung baby na lang gusto na lang i-harm yung sarili nila, na parang gusto na lang umakyat na lang sa kwarto and 'di ba, magbaril. And ito nga yung sinasabi ko na women who unfortunately didn't win the battle with postpartum depression. Unfortunately, some of them killed themselves along with their babies. So, ito yung mga bagay na gusto kong gusto kong ma-address, and the reason why gusto kong i-take to seriously kasi it could have been me. I wasn't in my right mind if I didn't tell my husband na gusto ko saktan yung baby ko. Hindi ako nasamahan ng sister ko, na iwan kami mag-isa. God knows what I would have done. So either I've ended up in jail or psych ward, mental facility, or sa sobrang guilt, I could have killed myself as well. So, I'm so sorry. Diba? Practice ko na, sabi ko, na hindi sana ako maiiyak pag kinuwento ko to. But, this is why it is important na mapag-usapan to. Na sana kapag may mga new moms kayo nakilala, lalo na family members kayo, na sinabi sa inyo na ang lungkot-lungkot ko, parang hindi ko kaya to. Huwag sana nating isipin na nag-iinarte lang sila. Na hindi naman to nangyari sa tita mo, hindi naman to nangyari sa kaibigan mo, hindi naman to nangyari sa kapatid mo. Bakit mo sasabihin na hindi mo kaya? Kaya mo yan, just suck it up. Ito yung mga klase ng message na hindi po talaga makakatulong. Na sana wag nating hintayin na lang. May makikita tayo sa news na baby na iniwan sa public restroom, iniwan sa may kung saan. And of course, initial reaction natin, ang sisi is sa nanay. Parang, what kind of a mother are you? Parang demonyo ka, bakit ginawa mo yan? And I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those people na talagang hindi ko pa naiintindihan, nung hindi ko pa alam kung ano yung postpartum depression. Syempre, i-judge ko siya, you're evil. Sana hindi ka na lang binigyan ng anak. Ang dami-dami dyan na gustong magkaanak. Pero ikaw, ganyan lang yung ginawa mo sa baby mo. Pero now, na pinagdaanan ko to and I know about postpartum depression, who am I to judge? Hindi ko alam yung history ng nanay na yun. Hindi ko alam kung anong klaseng generational trauma or past traumas na meron siya na nag-drive sa kanya para gawin yun. And we're creating this awareness in the hopes na yung system natin balang araw magkaroon ng screening sa new moms. Kasi, you know, when you're pregnant, merong screening for sa titingnan yung kung nag-spike yung blood sugar mo para hindi kayo magkaroon ng diabetes, 'di ba? Chine-check palagi yung blood pressure pag malapit ka ng manganak kasi syempre hindi pwedeng mataas yung BP mo kapag manganganak ka na sa nervyos. May mga ganun. Pero walang screening sa mental health. Yun nga yung nagustuhan ko sa When the Bow Breaks na docu. Hindi naman chine-check kasi syempre yung mga obese, 'di ba? Ang concern lang is the baby and syempre yung lower part ng body mo, 'di ba? About your pregnancy, healthy pregnancy. Pero walang screening sa mental health ng mga moms kung gaano ka ba ka-stressed during your pregnancy, or do you have any past traumas from your childhood or anything that you're healing from. Dahil kasi if you're someone who's healing from a trauma, or you have obsessive compulsive disorder, or may bipolar ka, na-diagnose ka na you're bipolar, or any depression before, unfortunately, you're at risk of going through postpartum depression someday kapag nag-give birth ka na. So, ito sana makapag-prepare kasi, 'di ba, when you're about to have a child, you have to be really prepared mentally, physically, prepared with everything. Pero you can only prepare so much. There's gonna be a lot of surprises na akala mo okay ka na. Ako, I never did a thorough research about postpartum depression when I was pregnant. Kasi unang-una, syempre, something na hindi ko nililook forward, 'di ba? Yung mga bagay lang na nililook forward ko after ko manganak, yung mga ni-research ko. May konting alam lang ako, pero I told myself then, kasi there's no reason for me to go through it. Parang, but there's no such thing as a perfect life. Pero feeling ko my life was almost perfect. Everything that I need, A loving family, loving parents, loving siblings, the greatest husband in the world. I have my dog. I have the best in-laws, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, mga biyanan ko, everyone who loves us. Sobrang dami ng gamit ni baby. Nabilan na siya ng lahat ng kailangan niya. And we're financially prepared. 'Di ba? Wala kaming magiging problem whatsoever. Life was too good and too perfect. There's no reason for me to go through it. But sabi nila na risk factor din yun, na siguro na-stress din ako masyado kasi nga sabi ko I wanted a normal delivery. So pwedeng dun siya nag-start. Kaso lang na-CS ako after 19 hours of labor. So yung standard mo hindi natupad. And I'm someone na medyo madali rin talagang ma-stress. Dati pa lang. And yeah, there are past traumas that I'm healing from na siguro nakakontribute din kung bakit ko siya pinagdaanan. Although, kahit paano ko sabihin sa utak ko na I should be very excited kasi finally napas na yung bill na 105 days na yung maternity leave. I can be with my baby and my husband for almost 4 months. Nilulook forward pa namin on yung wedding ng brother-in-law ko. And yung trip namin to Palawan, I have a lot to be thankful for, but I don't know why. I don't know why I felt so alone and so depressed. Hindi ko talaga alam kung bakit naranasan ko yun. So, my message to people out there na this is a very serious issue. Actually, kahit wala yung risk factors, yung isang napanood ko dun sa docu, si Angela Thompson, she's very religious, church goer, she's a nurse, and she already has a daughter bago niya ipanganak yung second born niya, which was her son. But unfortunately, she went through postpartum psychosis. So, ito yung medyo malala na thank God napapa-thank God pa ako na postpartum depression lang yung nangyari sa akin. But with the postpartum psychosis, unfortunately, ito na yung meron silang hallucinations or may kung ano-anong makikita na hindi naman totoo. Nasabi niya, akala niya end of the world na, and may nagsasabi sa kanya talaga na yung anak niya is the devil and kailangan niyang patayin. So, yung 9-month-old, may anak na siya na malaki nito I'm not sure if ilang taon na yung daughter niya, about mga 7 years old na yata. So, second born na to. Unfortunately, dahil dun sa psychotic thoughts na yun, and doon sa parang bumubulong sa kanya na devil nga yung anak niya, she drowned her 9-month-old son sa bathtub. So, napatay niya yung second born niya. But, yung infanticide kasi na law sa US, yun kasi yung hindi siya nakulong due to murder. So, parang due to reasons of insanity. So, ang nire-recognize na law yung infanticide nga na tinatawag na kaso is kapag within the first year ng life ng baby, kapag sadly napatay siya nung nanay within the first year, parang hindi makukulong yung nanay kasi nga reasons of insanity. So dahil sa postpartum depression. So paano yung mga nag-go through ng postpartum depression na 3 years, 4 years old na yung anak nila? Kagaya ni Carol Coronado, unfortunately, she killed her 3 daughters. 3 daughters na malalaki na. But she was going through postpartum depression. One day, napansin na nung husband niya na parang she's acting differently. Pero, mahirap yung buhay. Even if nasa state sila, the husband needed to work. So, hindi niya masyadong inintindi. And, tinawagan niya yung mother-in-law niya, kaso lang the mother-in-law was also working. Numerous voicemails ni Carol sa mommy niya, kaso lang her mom was busy working. Her mom was a bus driver na unfortunately hindi na nasagot. So since she wasn't in her right mind, hindi niya naisip na tawagan yung kapatid niya or tumawag sa iba pa. Ang tinawagan niya ng tinawagan is yung mom niya na sinasabi niya na she's very frustrated, she's very hopeless. She was a loving mom. I believe she was also studying, pero having 3 kids and a family that you have to look after, to take care of, magluluto ka. Being a mom is the toughest job. Gigising ka na maaga, magluluto ka ng breakfast, maglalaba, magsasampay, mamamalengke, mag-aalaga ng bata. She was still trying to study and may gusto siyang tapusin na pag-aaral. So, it was very overwhelming. Ang hirap i-achieve. Pero ayun nga, malalaki na yung anak niya. 3 daughters. Na unfortunately, ayun nga, she took their lives. And she was charged with murder because of it. She tried to kill herself as well. Inistab niya yung sarili niya, however, she lived. And yung mga hindi makakaintindi, di ba? Sasabihin na lang, sana namatay ka na lang din. Inano mo pa yung mga anak mo. That this is exactly the message. There's something wrong. Di ba? Yung stigma about mental health. Kasi unfortunately, may mga hindi naniniwala sa postpartum depression or any kind of depression na ang hilig nating i-invalidate minsan yung nangyayari sa iba porket hindi nangyari sa atin or porket wala kasi tayong kakilala na pinagdaanan to. Na parang hindi totoo yan kasi hindi naman nangyari sa amin. Ito sana yung iwasan na natin na hindi porket hindi natin napagdaanan hindi na totoo. I pray na if you're going through this, you have the greatest support system. Kasi even though I had almost everything in life, still, it was very life-threatening. I hope na yung mga pinagdadaanan namin na ganito would prevent, yun nga, more lives na masasayang just because walang nakaintindi. I will continue to create awareness about this. And yeah, it took me 2 years. I guess on my next vlog ko na lang ikukwento on how I battled with it. Sobrang hirap ng battle ko with postpartum depression kasi nag-pandemic pa. Hindi ka makalabas sa bahay and all. So, it's been 35 minutes. I know sobrang haba, but I hope, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have, ito 2 parts ko na lang din to. But thank you if nakaabot kayo dito. So, message ko again is just to please be kind. Kasi hindi talaga natin alam kung anong nasa isip ng ibang tao. We don't know what other people are thinking, what other people are going through. Palagi ko talaga itong sinasabi. So, let's be kind and compassionate. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you.